Well, it's week 2 of RHONJ, and that means Kim D is back to recap it all and chat about everything going on. I'm going to share some clips with you in just a few minutes. Listen, we break it all down. I mean, Gia. Gia's really the main word that comes to mind. I mean, hello, Gia, and welcome to RHONJ. So we talk all about Gia, some things we've heard off air, behind the scenes. Kim reveals some things. We talk more about Luis. We talk about Dolores. I think we're seeing a different Dolores this season. I think we're going to see a different Dolores. The Dolores that's been there, but like old school Dolores is coming out. We talk about that. We talk about this old rumor now that's resurfacing for Jackie. We talk about Jennifer, you know. I mean, I don't know. I kind of feel sorry a little bit for Jennifer, right? I don't know. We break all that down. So here are some clips. Check them out, and then head on over to Patreon. We break it all down with Kim. And honestly, during this also, Dolores happens to be on the way to Kim's house just during this recording. So that leads to a whole comedy of errors in and of itself. That's a whole nother thing. So check out these clips, head on over to Patreon, and hope you guys enjoy. What's going on, Kim?
Word for the day. Gia.
Can you believe this?
Love her. Love her.
I mean, yeah.
Spoke up for herself. He likes to talk down to women. I had the brunt of it at San Cubano, and I gave it to him. And no one gives it back to him. You know, he tries to play Mr. Family Man, whatever, but he's always talking down to women, and Gia gave it right back to him, and I like it. He couldn't handle it. He got up and tried to walk away.
I mean, as I was watching it, I was like, this is Teresa's daughter.
Well, speaking of Teresa, when he said, who raised you? Teresa's her mother. She sat there and didn't do a thing about it. If that was me and I was her mother, I'd be like, excuse me, I raised her and I'm very proud of her. Okay.
Now, where did you read that Gia got $50,000?
I read it in one of the blogs, and it said that one of the daughters, which was Gia, New Jersey housewives, got $50,000 and the husbands don't get anything. So they were accusing Joe Gorga of finding out, and he was mad. I don't know if that's true. You know what I mean? But that's what I read. And listen, Gia is 21. She's not her kid anymore. She's a grown adult. She can make her own. She could write her own ticket. And I don't blame her for wanting to get paid. She should get paid. It's almost like getting paid as a friend, So, and she brought it last night or the other night, whatever night it was.
They're just going to stop with Friends Up on New Jersey and just have Melania and Gia be the Friends Up.
I'll tell you, they're good. They'll bring it.
I mean, could you imagine? I mean, I'm sure they approached Teresa to begin with, Gia. I'm sure the first words out of Teresa's mouth are like, you have to pay her.
And I don't blame her. I don't blame her for that, because if they want Gia to do what she did, why shouldn't she be paid? Because again, there's still the laundry from the family is still being aired. Okay. So if you're going to do that, you might as well get paid for it. But I'm just saying, normally when you know something isn't true, you're not going to cry about it. Now going to Jennifer, let's go right into Jennifer. Jennifer runs around calling everybody a cheater. Everyone's this. Now we found out that she was calling people up to find out, if Kumasikan, whatever his name is, Jackie's husband, was fooling around. Well, guess what? You got what you were asking for. You knew deep down all along. Now, this is a terrible thing to cheat on your wife when she's 4 months pregnant. That's a terrible thing, okay? But she knew this, and she knew the way it felt. So you should be sympathetic if it's happening to somebody else. And she wasn't.
Well, she also never told Jackie that she was doing this when they had this conversation at her house.
Right, but she did do it. And she knows. She did do it. And she says she did this because Frank... She was nosy.
Well, she says also Frank Catania is now like a housewife.
Okay,
involved.
So tell me what...
But here's the thing. Dolores is like Teresa in the sense that you do not come for Frank Sr., Frank Jr., Gabby... David, we could even throw David in there, even though they're not together. So
exactly,
this is out there on social media now in real time, where Jennifer's like, "Why would I go snooping if Frank didn't say this and Frank wasn't involved?" And So, I mean, where is Dolores's social media slamming Jennifer? Like, where's that? Because Jennifer's
Well,
now online going against Frank Catania, and that leads Dolores to see red.
okay, well, a little inside scoop. Dolores is actually on her way here because she was picking up some things for me.
Oh, she's coming
Um,
today.
yeah, I had to leave it outside because we were doing this podcast. I love Dolores, by the way. Everyone, I love Dolores. I've known Dolores for 30 years. She stays loyal to me, even though I'm sure Teresa wants to wring her neck. Um, Dolores has a very lovely new boyfriend.
She does.
And I don't know much about the way he feels about her relationship with Frank and Tanya. Yes, Jackie tells Jen Dolores isn't really your friend. And then Dolores goes after Jackie. So Dolores, and when Dolores goes, she goes in.
Well, if you think about it, who has put Dolores's name in their mouth negatively in the past 5 to like, it's almost like Jackie don't know. Like Jackie, I know you've been around a few years, but you don't know Dolores. So if you think about it, when is Margaret, Teresa, Melissa, nobody puts Dolores's name in their mouth. And the last person who did was Danielle, and she went absolutely insane on Danielle.
Insane. But
so Jackie don't know what's like. This is Dolores's. You ain't seen nothing with a table flip. Like Dolores.
Yeah.
Dolores
comes in. Dolores is the real deal. Dolores can pick you up, drag you down the street like Fred Flintstone. You know what I mean? She don't give two whatevers, but it takes a lot to get her angry. And Dolores, because Jackie, all this is going on because when Margaret tells Dolores, that Jen was running around trying to find this information, Dolores changed her whole mindset as to feeling sorry for Jen. And she's entitled to that. And then Jackie took it like, well, she's talking behind your back, so I think Jackie should be able to say whatever she wants. Any of them should. But now you're going to feel the wrath of Dolores.
Well, I can tell you one thing. I don't want to feel the wrath of Dolores, so I ain't going there. We talk more about this. We talk more about Jennifer and Margaret and is there backtracking now and this rumor and what, it's not really a rumor in the case of Bill. Jennifer's admitted it. What we could expect the rest of the season. Next week, we see Miss Melania kind of get involved and stand up to Joe Gorga. So we are just beginning to scratch the surface. Head on over to Patreon. We are breaking it all down with Miss Kim D. And you can also find out if Dolores ever does show up at her house. Part of this whole interview, it somehow just goes off the rails. So hope you guys enjoy. Happy Saturday. # RHONJ with Kim D right now on Patreon.